Hey guys, it's Tom Toppins here. But first off, Tom Toppins isn't my actual name. My name is Tanner, and this is my intro video to this blog and what I kind of want to do with it, where I want to go, what are my goals, just like an introduction to who I am. Like I said, my name is Tanner. I'm a 22-year-old college student in North Carolina. I attend East Carolina University. My major is history, and my minor is film studies, which is really cool. Um, I tried to do this video last night twice, two times. Both times stuff went wrong for some reason. I don't know. It was very frustrating. So I'm doing this again today. I just got out of class. I just put some sweet potatoes in the oven, so the whole apartment smells awesome now. And I'm finally trying to answer the questions that some people sent me last night that I was going to do last night, but now I'm going to do now. So, let's do this. First off, my friend Vanessa asked, explain CrossFit to someone who has no idea what it is. This is such a hard question because you're going to get a different answer depending on who you're talking to. But I guess the bare gist of it, in 2000, around 2000 I think, Greg Glassman, who was a gymnast, I'm not sure, he was a gymnast, and he was training police officers, and I guess he was putting together routines to train these police officers to get them ready for kind of anything that could happen to them in the field. And what Greg Glassman did, he took movements from everything that he liked. He took Olympic lifting, he took gymnastic movements that he was familiar with. He took everything and he just kind of combined them. So CrossFit didn't really bring anything new. CrossFit brought a lot of old things that were really awesome. They brought them together and gave it a name. And you'll hear people talk about functional movements, and functional movements just are things like deadlifts and pull-ups and jumps and things like that you would do kind of in your everyday life, is what they're trying to say. It's preparing you for anything and everything. So that's kind of, I guess, my answer to that. I'm not sure how to answer that. I mean, you can look at videos and stuff like that, but that's up to you. When did I get into CrossFit? Okay, so it's 2012 now. In December of 2010, I was in a relationship with a girl for 2 years at that point, and we broke up. And by broke up, I mean she left me for someone else. And I was really down about it, and I was kind of at a really low. And when something like that happens to you, people are always, their biggest advice is to stay busy. And I wanted to stay busy. I wanted to do absolutely anything to get my mind off what was happening in my real life. So I had a friend who was a fighter, and he was a professional MMA fighter, and his Facebook statuses used to always say things like, if you're not CrossFitting, you're not in shape. And if you're not, you think you're working out, but you've never done CrossFit. And stereotypical things that CrossFitters would say, I suppose. So I wanted to know what this was. By this point, I had done Insanity before, with Shaun T, and I liked it. I really did. And don't get me wrong, P90X and Insanity are good programs for what they are. But after the 90 days, what do? After the 60 days, what do? You just start the DVDs over again? That's kind of boring. And I didn't want to do that. So I did this, and I YouTubed CrossFit, and the first thing that came up was that I think it was 2010 commercial with Chris Spieler and Heather, and Chris Spieler said something that still resonates with me today. He said, "We as CrossFit don't view fitness as a quick fix. It's a lifelong goal. It's not something that you're going to get in a week, a month, or even a year." And I'm here a year and 3 or 4 months later to tell you that, I'll never be there. People have goals that they have for themselves, but when your goal is to just be better, always, like it's a goal that can never be reached, and that is awesome. You don't want to reach your goal. You don't want to reach those 60 days after Insanity and say, well, now what? You just keep going, and that's what I've done, and I love it. I love every minute of it. And I'll never forget the first CrossFit workout that I did. It was a video of Miranda Oldroyd you can still find this video too. It was that wall ball muscle up workout. It was like 50 wall balls, 10 muscle ups, 40 wall balls, 8 muscle ups, and so on and so on. Okay, so at my gym, first off, it's the Student Rec Center. It's not an actual CrossFit box, unfortunately. So I don't have access to those awesome, like, big medicine balls that have more surface area to grab onto, and they're softer to your hands. And I also didn't have gymnastics rings, and I still don't. A buddy of mine's actually buying some. We're gonna like throw them over a tree and play around with them soon. So yeah, I did this. So, and I had a bar muscle up at the time, but it doing it that many rounds kind of scared me because it's such a complex movement. So I was doing strict pull-ups to do this, and oh man, so I did it, and I remember after the first 50 wall balls, like my leg, I just knew it was gonna be bad, and so I did it, and I remember the next day not being able to walk, like my quads were just destroyed, and I loved it, and I absolutely loved it, and I loved every minute of it, and I haven't stopped. So yeah, I love CrossFit. So, but some more questions that I got. My friend Jay is really curious about like shoes and what shoes that are good for CrossFit. He said that he used Nike Freeze, which I've personally never run in. I have a roommate who's a long distance runner and runs marathons and whatever. And he swears by his Nike Freeze. But and before I'm gonna tell you, and I use the Innovate 195s. I've had them since June of last year, and they've obviously held up really awesome. Mostly because I don't have ropes to climb. That's the thing. But in CrossFit, so here's the thing that I think that is pretty important for people considering shoes. People always talk about, oh, I have my weightlifting shoe, I have my running shoe, I have my whatever shoe. Let's eliminate that, and why not have just one shoe for everything? And that's what is it, the Bear X 200 the Innovate just put out. I would recommend that because it has a rubber sole. You can do anything in it. Like lifts are supposed to be awesome for it. The Reebok Nano that all the pros wear, apparently it's good for everything. It has a wide toe box, so you get that barefoot feeling. So, but honestly, people are different. But if you're like me and you're flat-footed as all hell, I would recommend, slow baby steps down till you get to these very minimalist shoes. My Innovates have a Dr. Scholl's insert, so I have a minimalist shoe with a Dr. Scholl insert, which is backwards, I guess. But I love it. It works for me. So, anyway, who would I recommend CrossFit to is another question. And honestly, I would say any and everyone. Yeah, and you can go all over Tumblr and see people's awesome stories about, like, I was this and I became this. It's because of CrossFit. And it's pretty profound. Obviously, I would recommend finding someone, to show you these movements. I learned how to CrossFit from Chris Spieler, watching Chris Spieler on YouTube. Obviously, I would recommend going to a box, or if you know someone who does it, show, like, the more complex movements. Anyone can do a burpee. Anyone can do a push-up. Anyone can do a box jump. But it's these other movements like snatches, cleans, muscle-ups, these more complex movements that I would highly recommend that you have someone show you these movements. Because I'm not an expert in any means, and I don't claim to be an expert in anything regarding CrossFit. I just love doing it. So yeah, but I would recommend it to anyone. Just be safe about it and be smart. People's biggest complaints about CrossFit is that it's unsafe and it hurts people. Well, that's because some people are kind of stupid and they don't listen to their bodies, and they just keep going, and you can't do that. And so, but I'd recommend it to anyone. If you're willing to try new things and you're willing to stick with a program and you're willing to meet an awesome community and change your life, essentially, go for it. Go for it. I recommend it, and I want to hear your story. Someone asked me what is my height and weight. I'm 6'1", and somewhere in between 165 and 175. And people are always asking me if I want to gain weight, because for me, because I am so light, I have to scale back a lot of these workouts. But it's really scary to me to gain weight. Number one, that's as a CrossFitter, that's more weight that I have to jump with. That's more weight that I have to run with. That's more weight that I have to do pull-ups with. And it's just scary to me. It's a scary concept to put on weight. I guess we'll see where that goes. But obviously, since 2010 or 11, yes, I have gained 25 pounds. So, yeah. Someone asked me, where do I get my workouts? I mostly get my workouts from the main site, from CrossFit.com. They post them every day, Eastern time. I get them at like 8 to 9, something like that. And I've been doing that since probably last summer. So yeah, I highly recommend it. There's some other awesome, any CrossFit gym normally does their own programming, like CrossFit Invictus, CrossFit Pori, Pori, which is Mikko Salo's gym in Finland. I'd recommend all of these workouts. They're fantastic. And, but that was all my questions. Hopefully you guys will send more. Hopefully you like this video and don't think it's stupid. But I just wanted to do this as an introductory and let you guys know that I love CrossFit and I'm passionate about being a healthy person and being happy. And hopefully we can, have this journey together. But I'm Tanner, and it's nice to meet all of you. Bye.